Hello, it's Jimmy, and I want to talk a little bit about supporting black authors and black publishers in particular. So recently there's been a lot of interest in people, I think much overdue interest in people wanting to read more black literature and more reading to understand the systemic racism that is such a shame and a tragedy and a disgrace of our societies. One thing I would say though is that it's likely that the big publishers are going to take advantage of this moment. They are driven mainly by profit, and there's a lot of excellent authors with really important things to say who end up getting published by these big publishers. And I'm definitely not saying we shouldn't buy those books. We definitely should. But these publishers are going to recognise this is what's being discussed at the moment. How can we capitalise on that? And when this discussion goes out of the limelight and it's not what's trending on Twitter and it's not what's being discussed on the news so often, those big publishers are likely to move on because they're not publishing those books because they think the messages are important, or they want to give a platform and a voice to those people. At the end of the day, they're publishing them because they think they can make a profit from that at the moment. And that's just how they function. But there are publishers who do this hard work year in, year out, with very little recognition and little reward. And they're not going to stop when something goes out of the limelight because they have real principles that are behind their work as publishers and their editorial decisions and everything like that. So I would recommend seeking out smaller, black-owned publishers that have been working for years, finding brilliant writers who have been snubbed by the mainstream industry, which didn't see them as profitable. So two in particular in the UK are Jacaranda Books, which mainly publishes books for adults, and Knights of, which mainly publishes children's books. They recently ran a COVID-19 fundraiser called Inclusive Indies, sharing the money between themselves to make sure they didn't go out of business because of the loss of sales due to the lockdown. But they also shared that money with other publishers which promote as a key value behind their business diversity in publishing and publishing books that represent the whole of the audience that's going to receive them, not just the wealthiest part or the biggest demographic. I'd also urge you to think about who you're buying those books from. For example, when you're buying books from Amazon, that's a company that doesn't pay taxes whenever it can avoid them. It's a company that's made its founder the richest person in the world, whilst mistreating and underpaying many of its staff on whom it totally depends for the running of the business. And those staff who are mistreated in the lower paid roles are much more likely to be ethnic minorities and vulnerable people than the mostly white people in the highly paid positions at Amazon. Again, with the tax thing, they are taking money away from essential public services that would be funded, that would benefit the most vulnerable people. And again, it's putting money into a book ecosystem that's entirely driven by profit, not by principle. So Amazon will be promoting on the top of its book pages not what it thinks is important, but what it thinks is going to sell at the moment. Whereas if you do seek out booksellers whose values go beyond profit and go towards what difference can we make by stocking certain books, by promoting certain books and making them available, then you're helping keep that positive ecosystem alive. So even when the Twitter hashtags stop and the mainstream media moves on, this vital movement and its infrastructure, just in this one small part, the book industry, that is so important to all of us, the infrastructure for people in the world of books and the industry of publishing who have those values and have those principles and want to make the industry a better place and want to make the world a more just place, will have had that support that enables them to keep going. So keep reading these books, whoever's publishing them, but also look at those publishers who have been working for years and years and aren't trying to cash in. Support them, keep them alive, keep them going. Go back to them next month and the month after that and next year, because they're going to keep producing really important and really high quality books. When you buy books, think about where your money's going and what difference that's making. Try to keep the people with those values that you share in business. So that was just a short thought that I wanted to share. So let me know, who are your favourite publishers with principles, who value diversity, but who maybe don't get the attention that they should be getting. Let me know, who should I be going and checking out. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and Black Lives Matter.